Good morning, classmate. Good morning, sir. My report is all about Programmable Logic Controller or PLC and their overview. So what is Programmable Logic Controller or PLC? A Programmable Logic Controller, also called a PLC or Programmable Controller, is a controller equipment in an industrial facility. So how PLC works, or the Programmable Logic Controller? The PLC system works, as we can see the figure, we have input sensing device, then optical isolation or the module input. Then we have the power supply, the central processing unit or the CPU. Then we have memory, then program, and also the data. And we have also the output module and the output load devices, and also the programming device. In a traditional industrial control system, all control devices are wired directly to each other according to how the system is supposed to operate. In a PLC system, however, the PLC replaces the wiring between the devices. Thus, instead of being wired directly to each other, all equipment is wired to the PLC or the Programmable Logic Controller. Then, the control connection between the devices, the control program is the computer. Computer program stored in the PLC memory that tells the PLC what's supposed to be going on in the system. The use of a PLC to provide the wiring connection between system devices is called soft wiring. Example, let's say that a push button is supposed to control the operation of a motor in a traditional control system, sa traditional wiring. The push button will be wired directly to the motor, while in a PLC system, however, both the push button and the motor will be wired to the PLC or the Programmable Logic Controller. Instead, then the PLC control program will complete the electrical circuit between the two, allowing the button to control the motor. To understand about the traditional system, then the PLC system. As we can see to the figure, in a traditional system, all control devices are wired directly to each other. So as we can see to the picture, we have single switch, then the motor. While in a PLC system, all control devices are wired to the PLC. So as we can see again to this picture, we have here the switch, the motor, and the PLC. As we can see, the PLC system, ang motor is connected sa computer, while the switch also connected to the PLC. While in the traditional system is directly connected. Gets? So we have here the advantage and disadvantage of PLC. So first, the advantage. Less space. So why in the PLC is less space? Because a PLC requires much less space than a standard computer or a relay panel that could do the same job. The second is lower cost. Why? Because a PLC can cost as little as 4 or 5 relays, but it can replace hundreds of relays. The third one is the resistance to environment. The casing of a PLC is industrially hardened to withstand the harsh environment in a factory. Standard computers do not use industrially hardened cases. And the fourth one is direct interface. Ang direct interface is standard computers requires a complex and limited system to interface real world components. A PLC interface can be directly wired to these components. And the fifth, easy programming. Why? Because in PLC, most often use a programming language called ladder logic. This language is based on industrial standard symbology used in a hardwired relay system. So, which is already understood by the industry technician. And the last is the flexible. This is the last one in the advantage of PLC. It is flexible because the PLC programming can be changed much more quickly than hardwired relays. And in a PLC, requires a few if any component is changes. So, the disadvantage of PLC. First is, when a problem occurs, hold up time is indefinite, usually long. So, talagang matatagalan bago ito maayos. Second, there are limitations of working of PLC under high temperature vibration condition. Some PLC turns on when power is restored and may cause any accident. So some PLC turns on when power is restored. The last one is there's too much work required in connecting wires. Okay. It is because sa PLC we have different types of connection, right? So that's all. Thank you and stay safe.